Apa khabar, Indonesia? Nice. From Lebanon, yes. That's another very close place to me. All right, guys, do download the PDF. I have put the link to download the PDF in the chat, as well as I've put the PDF link in the description. So you should be able to download it. I do want you all to know that 2023 was a great year personally for me. But more importantly is what's going to happen going forward. So I did want to spend some time with each one of you. Timothy, thank you for signing in so early in the morning for you. I know you're in Canada. Wow. Mona from the Philippines. Nice. Guys, I do get to see every single one of your comments, so I do get to know exactly where you're from. And this is probably one of the most sweet, I would say, cute topics, which is objection handling. I know it's one of the biggest challenges that financial advisors face when they're in this business. But objection handling is probably one of the most exciting parts of the sales process. So how many of you truly have problems with handling objections? How many of you get what we call the word stumped with objections? So you're not sure exactly how to handle these objections when clients do give them to you. So I want you all to think about this, that objection handling is probably one of the most exciting parts of the sales process, because they will actually tell you what they feel, they will tell you what they're thinking. And if you can handle that objection, you're basically going from, that almost closed deal to definitely a closed deal. And the only gap between your presentation and closing is that one, maybe two objection. And if you can handle that one portion very well, the close is almost guaranteed. So guys, I think I want all of you all today to spend some time to listen to exactly the words that I use, because your choice of words will affect your closing. Your choice of words will affect the way clients perceive whether they are being manipulated or whether they're being given good advice, right? So please remember one thing: the way you handle objections will either show that you are manipulating them into a decision, or you're actually advising them on the right course of action. So listen to this very carefully. Margaret, thank you very much for signing in so early. I mean, it is quite early in Trinidad and Tobago. Tree to the bone, I know that. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Do try and download the PDF if you haven't been able to so far. Do try to click on the link. It is quite easy to download the PDF. I will ask my team to try and see if they can help with downloading the PDF. So just give me a second. I will ask them to send in the link again to make sure that it's done in. Perfect. Vijay is here from Coimbatore. Nice. That's another very beautiful place that I have had the opportunity to visit. Guys, like I said, let's make a few notes, right? So I want you all to make these notes down. Number one, understanding how do you start your conversation process. So when you are meeting with someone for the first time, the question is, what do you say to them? Now, most of you would have seen some of my presentation videos on YouTube. So if you haven't seen concept presentations, I have put up a lot of concept presentations on YouTube that you are able to download. Watch those videos. They are great ways to start conversations. But once you have had the right conversations, you will get objections. And what I realized is every objection that you handle, that objection is something that you have to follow a process for. When you convert your sales cycle into a process, you know exactly where you're going wrong and you know exactly where you're going right. So I want you all to think about this, that do you have the right process, the right system to be successful in this business? So First of all, when I started in this business 23 years ago, I was told we need to do what we call need-based financial planning. Now, when we identify those needs, what I did realize is almost every family had very similar needs. So now the question became, do I need to be intrusive about asking those needs, or can I be presumptive in finding out what those needs could automatically be for almost every family? So let me ask all of you this question. How many of you think that money is important? How many of you think that money is important? Just say, I do. The next thing I want to ask is, how many of you think that retirement planning is important? I want you to write, me too. Lara, great to see you here. Absolutely. Yes. Now, question is, when you are doing retirement planning, let me ask another question. When do you truly want to retire? I mean, how many of you think the right age to retire is 65? I think we've got this wrong. That's the reason why I'm asking this question. Guys, when I joined this financial planning business, I realized that we've got a few things wrong. Number one, nobody wants to retire at 65. Almost everybody that I've met wants to retire at the age of 35. Think about it. 65 is too old. You're right, Nick. 65 is too old. Gurdeep, you want to retire today? There you go. Guys, I want you all to listen to this, right? I want you all to understand that we've got retirement planning wrong. I'm probably very blunt about this, and I'm going to say it out as loud as I can to everyone in the world. We've got retirement planning wrong. Retirement is a concept that was created from retirement is first of all not about work. Retirement is about having the ability to do what makes you happy. So if you have the ability to do what makes you happy at the age of 25, 30, 35, you have retired. Work and retirement are not supposed to go together. So we've got this wrong, that I have to retire from work. The truth is, people, if they love their work, they will never retire. And people, if they don't like their work, will be wishing they were retired yesterday. And that is one thing that needs to change. Now, what forces people to work? I want you to think about this. What forces people to work? What truly forces people to work is the lack of enough money. And retirement is absolutely a lifestyle. You're absolutely right, Dharampal. Retirement is a lifestyle. So I want all of you all to answer this question for me. What would you like to do if you had the ability? Let's assume you had all the money in the world. So let's keep money as a variable aside, all right? So let's just keep money aside as a variable. What would you like to do if today you had all the money in the world? What would you like to do if you retired today? What would you like to do? Arthi, you're right. Liabilities and lack of provision. That's right. So let's assume we didn't have liabilities. Let's assume we didn't have any money problems, right? So Jen says she would love to travel. All right, Jen, you like to travel. All right, let's see how many people say ride the universe on two wheels. Lara is a biker, just for your information, guys, and she will ride the universe on her two wheels. All right. So Aung has said, want to live with what I'm passionate about. All right, what are you passionate about? I will enjoy life. Okay, Kitty, what would you do to enjoy life? Sally says, I will travel, I will go reading. Grace will say, I want to become a mentor. I want to give value to others. Fantastic. Travel around the world, do volunteer work, watch the grass grow. Trevor, That's probably one of the most satisfying things, watching grass grow. It's super satisfying. Um, Cycling and running, all right. World tour. Mamta says she will do a world tour. All right. Travel and give to charity. I want all of you all to just look at all the comments that people are throwing in. It's travel is on top of the list. Eat, shopping, right? I want to become a UN teacher. Wow, Rachel, that's brilliant. Do anything without worrying about everything. All right. Start a charity, start a foundation, go back to my hometown, build a house. Okay. That's interesting. Build a house, do volunteer work, welfare home. Now, if you realize this, Adrian's going to chase Taylor Swift. That's all right. But I want you all to realize this, that there are two very similar commonalities that come out of this conversation. We've got more than 650 people who are watching in. And what I want you all to realize is the top two things that people want to do when they retire, which is today, is travel and give back. Travel and give back. All right. So traveling is number one. Giving back is number two. Jeffrey would like to drink tea with me. Jeffrey, you're more than welcome to, even if you're not retired, we can definitely have tea together. Dong wants to build school for the poor, but deserving students. Fantastic. Guys, I want you all to realize this. We are still stuck with two very interesting things that you will do if you retire today. Travel and charity. Is there something number three that you will try? What would be the third thing you would do? Because you can't travel every day. You can't do charity every day. What is the third activity that you would add to your list? What's the third activity that you would add to your list? Guys, keep this in mind that money is not the constraint, right? Mona, how would you create a legacy? All right. Sanjay says he wants to become spiritual. All right. Focus on my mental and physical health. So health, spend time with family. All right. Enjoy time with my family and create new memories. Fantastic. All right. Pursue my passion. Alicia, what is your passion? That's what I'm trying to find out. Spend time with family. Enjoy and relax. Grammy, what do you mean by enjoy and relax? What would you do? So health. Health is number three. All right. So we've still got health going. Become a teacher. Me time by doing nothing. I love that one. Trust me, it gets boring. I tried it for a week. Gets very boring after a while. Do some sports, right? So that comes back to health. Yes. Do what I like without. What would you like to do without thinking about the cost? That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Heart says she wants to go into farming. Fantastic. Regina, hopefully inspire others by sharing what I learned. So you want to become a teacher. Learn new things. Okay, I want to learn new things. So what we realize is number three is health. Number four is spending time with family. Number five is learning something new. Number six is teaching other people. Marianne says golf and a golf tour. So I want you all to realize something, that when it comes to retirement planning, it always comes down to lifestyle. And if you realize something about lifestyle, our lifestyle is actually not very expensive. Listen to these words very carefully. I know it's very contradicting to what you have believed so far. Guys, I want you all to remember one thing, that it is very contradicting to what you have learned so far, what you have heard so far. Lifestyle, we are the one generation, people living today, have traveled more than any previous generation that has ever existed. Remember this, number one. We are one generation that has lived and traveled more than any previous generation. Number two, we are one generation that is probably more woke than any previous generation. We truly believe in doing charity. We truly believe in giving back. We truly believe in taking care of the environment. We are actually one generation that is really vocal about doing work that is equitable for the whole world. Number three, we are a generation that truly is getting to spend more time at home than at work. We are truly that one generation that is spending more time at home than work. Number four, we are one true generation that is actually learning more than any previous generation. Guys, I want you all to realize something. We are all truly already doing the things that we want to do had we retired today. The only gap, the only difference is we feel stressed about money. We feel stressed about money. That's the only thing that is actually affecting a life that we are already living. So all of us are truly already living the life that we want. But what's missing is that ability to feel less stress. So how do we change that? How do we change that? It comes down to proper financial planning. It's not about planning for 65. It's about planning for next week. It's about planning for next month. It's about planning for next year. It's about sacrificing a little today so that next year I can travel a little bit more. So it's about getting that little bit more. We all want to travel a little bit more. We all want to eat out a little bit more. We all want to spend time with our family a little bit more. We all want to spend doing charitable work a little bit more. And that's where it comes down to. It's that little bit more that is actually bothering all of us. It is not money. It's the ability to have that little bit more that would allow us to actually and truly enjoy a retired life. And the reason why I'm sharing this is I want you all to understand that one of the biggest objections that I get when I do retirement planning is, Sanjay, I will never retire. Or Sanjay, why would I retire at 65? I want to retire at 35. I want to retire at 40. I want to retire at 45. People want sooner retirements. Why are you forcing them to plan for retirement at 65? Because the government said so. Guys, I want you all to understand this. It's policy that dictated financial planning guidelines, and that's what needs to change. So, I want each one of you all today to remember this, that financial planning is about setting the right guidelines for yourself, not for the government, not for your employers, not for your companies, but for yourself. You can't be dependent on a third party. You have to learn to be self-dependent. And to be self-dependent, there are a few things that you need. Number one, the right financial plan. Learning to say, you know what, today I can sacrifice a little bit to be able to do what I want to do. So the question is, what do I want to do? And that's why I asked every single one of you to write down that if money was not the constraint, what would you like to do? So why don't we do one thing? Why don't all of us get on a journey to create a travel fund? That every year this fund will give us a little money to be able to travel a little bit more. Why don't we create a shopping fund? That, you know what, let's create a fund that every year this shopping fund will give me a little bit of money to shop a little bit more. Why don't we create a Meet My Family fund, right? That every 4 or 5 years I get the opportunity to host a reunion for my family. So we need that little bit more. Why don't we create a learning fund that allows me to, you know what, go and learn a course. It's not like we want to go back to university and spend 3, 4, 5 years in university. We probably just want to go and learn a particular skill set. We want to go and learn one particular course. And why can't we do that by creating a learning fund for ourselves? And I want all of you all to think about this, that the mindset that we have for retirement planning is about creating a large retirement fund that scares our clients. So instead of trying to create a large retirement fund that scares your clients, why don't we create small funds for traveling, for shopping, for eating out? Let's start creating small pockets of funds that we can get access to when we want to do that little bit more. And why do we have to plan as if we are waiting till the age of 65? Why can't we start planning for our clients that from the age of 35, they start living a lifestyle, right? That start living a lifestyle to do that. Okay, how many of you would like me to become your advisor now? Think about this. After listening to what I just said, how many of you would like me to become your advisor now on how to plan retirement at the age of 35, 40, and 45? I want you to think about this. Now, the fact is, I don't want to become your advisor, but if you feel that, you know what, Sanjay, I would like you to be my advisor, that's what I meant by the right conversation. If you're having the right conversation, right? And if you truly feel that, Sanjay, I wish you were my advisor after listening to what I just said, it means it has nothing to do with objections. It's coming down to presentation. It's going to come down to your presentation. You truly want me to be your advisor, and that is the most important motto that I want you to take this time away from. So it comes down to the right conversation. Now, after you have the right conversation, yes, even if you have the right conversation, you will still get objections. So guys, it's not that I don't get objections. Let me be very, very clear, right? Let me be very clear. I will still get objections, but handling objection is a 4-step process. Okay, I want you to write this down. I have put it in the PDF, so if you do download the PDF, you'll be able to access it. But let me put down the 4 steps for objection handling. Step number 1, acknowledge the objection. One of the biggest mistakes that we make as financial advisors, as financial planners, as life planners is, Sanjay, you don't hear what I'm saying, right? You're not listening to me, Sanjay. Right? This is one of the biggest mistakes that we make as financial professionals, is we don't accept our clients' concern. We try to challenge it, right? And every time that you challenge it, you're basically telling your client, you know what, Mr. Client, I'm not listening to you. So first of all, step number 1, acknowledge. Acknowledge the objection, because when you acknowledge the objection, you're telling your clients, I'm listening to you and I'm hearing what you're saying. So acknowledge the objection. Step number 2, you have to ask the right question. You have to ask those clients, why do they have that as a concern? Right? First of all, accept it. Step number 2 is asking the right question, and that question should be, why do you have that concern? So the question should be more about, why do you have this concern? So you can understand what they're trying to say. Okay, that's step number 2. Step number 3, give them a solution and give them an example. Because if you don't provide a solution or you don't give them an example, right, they won't know how other people react. You see, we are still in a phase, we are still living in a generation that loves to copy and paste. And people do love to know what other people are doing. Can we agree to that? That people love knowing what other people are doing and they love to copy it. So one of the most important things that we need to do is understand that our clients also like to know what other people are doing. So give them a solution and give them an example of what other people are doing. And step number 4 is make it relatable to them. Make sure that they understand, how do they fit into that solution? How do they fit into that actual commitment? Or how do they fit into that example? So make it relatable. These are your 4 steps to handle any objection that a client gives you. Step number 1, Fanny, I'll give it to you, don't worry, I'll repeat it. Step number 1 is acknowledge. Step number 2, ask the right questions. Step number 3, give a solution, give an example. And step number 4, make it relatable to them. And that's it. 4 steps to handle any objection in the world. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this session for free, I want you all to understand, guys, I don't make money from teaching, right? This is not my business. I love to help advisors get to the next level. I do not recruit, so I do not have a team that I'm building. But the whole purpose of this session was for me to get every single one of you on the right track, because 2024 is going to be an year of opportunities. It's a year where I truly believe that every single one of you can hit the targets that you have set for yourself, for a very simple reason. We have the lowest competition in the insurance business. Guys, think about this. How many of you had the dream that you will grow up and become an insurance advisor? How many of you had that dream that, you know what, when I grow up, I'll become an insurance advisor? I want you to think about this. It is not it's not a profession of choice. It's a profession of chance. By chance, you came into this business. By chance, you got to know about this business. By chance, you stepped into this business. This wasn't a business of choice. This was a business of chance. And as soon as you understand this, you realize that your level of competition is very, very low. Because there are many people who are studying to become doctors. There are many people who are studying to become engineers. There are many people who are studying to become accountants, lawyers, bankers. How many people are actually spending time to study to become good insurance and financial advisors? Think about this. We have the lowest competition in our profession. And that's the reason why, if you truly build the right system, the right process, the right ethical standards, the right benchmarks for yourself, you will get into the right momentum to build your business and your practice. So I want all of you all to think about this. We came into this business by chance. We stay in this business by choice. And we become successful in this business by the right system. Keep this in mind, guys. Keep this in mind. We came into this business by chance. I'm going to repeat this. We came into this business by chance. We stay in this business by choice. And we become successful in this business by building the right system. And if you are not building the right system of prospecting, concepts, objection handling, closing, if you've not built the right system for yourself, you will find reasons to leave this business. And every time a financial advisor or insurance advisor leaves this business, you are making clients orphan. Do you realize the word that they use for clients who don't have a financial advisor because their financial advisor left the business? What do they call them? They call them orphan clients. That is the impact that you have on the lives that you actually work with. So guys, as financial advisors, I want you to remember this, that the statement, the word that we use for clients who don't have a financial advisor is orphaned clients. That word is probably one of the most saddest words to hear. And where do these clients go? They go to foster homes, where they're not treated well, where they're not loved, they're not taken care of, and then they go around the world thinking that the insurance profession is bad. Why? Because we orphaned them. So if you are truly joining this profession, please set this as a guideline for yourself. Do not orphan your clients. Your clients need their advisor to stay with them right till the end. It is still death do us part. Think about it. The promises that you're making to your family, the promises that you're making to your spouses, the promises that you're making to your clients are exactly the same. Till death do us part, through sickness and health, through rich and poor, I'll be with you. And when you don't fulfill these commitments, these three major commitments, what happens? You orphan your clients. And when they get orphaned, they go into what we call the foster care system, where they don't get loved, they don't get the attention, they don't get what they deserve. And then the hatred for the insurance industry increases so much that it affects the reputation of all good financial advisors out there. And this is the only reason why I'm spending my time today to help every single one of you try and get to the next level. Guys, I have no other motive than to help you get to the next level. It doesn't affect me. I do not recruit. I'm not building a team. I've been in this business for 23 years. My family has been in the insurance and the financial services profession for over 3 generations. I am not interested in growing my agency or any of that. I truly want to teach every single one of you on how you can build the right system to manage your clients, on building the right system to do this business in the most ethical manner. We will make mistakes. I'm not saying I don't make mistakes. Guys, we all do make mistakes. We are human, and that's what makes us human, that we are making mistakes. It's not that I don't make mistakes. I do make mistakes. But the question is, do you run away from them or do you correct them? That is the most important thing that happens. Do you run away from those mistakes or do you correct them? We will make mistakes. I'll give you a very simple example. If you have been in this business long enough, you have seen the way products have changed. You have seen the way the insurance companies have changed their strategies. They have gone from traditional products to investment-linked products, to traditional products to investment-linked products. And you will see how they keep trying to find that right mix of which product is suitable and which product is not suitable. And that's one of the most important things. That what is the product that you will want to focus on? What will you specialize in? If every single one of us is a supermarket, because this is what I noticed, right? I was sitting in a cafe once, and there was a financial advisor who was sitting on a table right behind me in the cafe, and she pulls out 6 brochures, right? Six product brochures. She puts it in front of a client and says, which one would you like to buy? And that's when I realized, oh my God, we've got the whole system wrong, because everyone's trying to be that one-stop shop for all your financial needs, your one-stop supermarket for all your financial products. Guys, please understand something. Every single one of you is not a one-stop shop. Your company could be a one-stop shop. Your agency could be a one-stop shop. But as individuals, we are not a one-stop shop. We are specialists. You have to learn to choose your area of expertise. You have to think about it. You look at your head, right? Just the head. There's a doctor for the brain. There's a doctor for the eyes. There's a doctor for the nose. There's a doctor for your teeth. There's a doctor for your throat. There's a doctor for your ears. And every single part of your head, there is a different doctor. And some of them become super specialists in just that one part. So if in the medical profession, they have specialized, I'm just talking about the head, we're not even looking at the whole body, just the head. We've got so many doctors that would get involved. Why are we as financial professionals not becoming experts in our business? The problem is, no one has actually told us what are the different expertise. What are the different expertise that are available for us to choose from? So I'm going to give you 4 down. I'm going to give you the 4 expertise that I've given every single mentee of mine, because I truly believe that the whole world should choose a specialization. So these are the 4 specializations that I was taught. I was guided by my mentor, my father, my grandfather. So there were 4 specializations. I'm going to give you these 4 specializations. Write these down because they are not in the PDF. Specialization number 1, risk management. Specialization number 2 is asset management. Specialization number 3 is corporate financial planning. And specialization number 4 is family office management. There are 4 different specializations that you can start to choose from and become a specialist in one of these 4. And I want you all to think about this. There are 4 specializations. Write these down, guys. Risk management, asset management, corporate financial planning, and family office management. And every single mentee of mine is actually forced into choosing one of these specializations. And the reason why I forced them is because if they become a specialist, people value them a significant more than a generalist. We all know that specialists earn more money than generalists. So the question is, do you want to specialize or do you want to stay as a generalist? The choice is yours. Guys, it doesn't affect my business, but it will affect yours. Thanks, Alvin, for writing these down. I'm glad you did, because it allows everyone to read what I'm saying. Now, the other thing I want you all to realize is when we do objection handling, the 4-step process, I have been using this process for the longest time. All right. I'm not going to spend time on specializations today, Rahul. So if you do have some time, do go on. I've already put up a lot of content on different specializations, what the purpose of the specializations is, etc. I've already done that. I just wanted you all to know that there are 4 specializations for you to choose from. Do spend some time. I have already written down on exactly what those specializations are, what those specializations do, how do they work, what are the things you should focus on. I've actually written that down. Now, Gloria is asking a very interesting question. How do I choose? Gloria, choose what makes you happy. It will allow you to stay longer in this business. Choose what makes you happy. It will allow you to stay longer in this business. One of the biggest reasons that you will notice for successful financial advisors is their longevity in this business. The longer you stay in this business, the more focused you stay in this business, the higher the probability of success. Think about it. If you get Monday blues in this business, when you joined this business, you were told you have the freedom to make as much money as you like. You have the freedom to work whatever hours you like to work. You have the freedom to work with whoever you like. Then why are you sacrificing that freedom and getting Monday blues? If you have freedom every day, why do you have Monday blues? Why do you think about, I don't want to work on Saturday, I don't want to work on Sunday? Guys, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. You have the freedom to choose who can be your client and who should not be your client. Because the promise you're going to give your clients are very, very long term. And if you are giving long-term promises, make sure that you're giving the promises to the right people. So coming back to objection handling. Objection handling, how many of you, could you tell me what's the most common objection you get? Thank you, Shah, for actually putting it down. Choose what makes you happy. It will make you stay longer in this business. Thank you very much for writing that down. It is absolutely true. Gloria, I'm glad you didn't realize it, but yes, we do have the freedom to choose. Okay, Alvin says, I'm not interested. Alvin, first of all, let me explain the difference between objection and rejection. All right? Objection and rejection, there are 2 things. Number 1, objection is where they have a problem with the product, they have a problem with your advice. That's an objection. Rejection is where they think your advice is not valuable. Now, when does a client reject you? A client rejects you when you have done a very lousy presentation. All right? So, first of all, let's get that very clear. If you are being told that I'm not interested, it's because your presentation wasn't relevant for this particular client, and you need to come back with a better presentation. All right. So now let's look at the objections that some of you just sent. Okay, I love this one. I don't have a budget. So how many of you get this one? I have no money. How many of you get this one? I have no money. I have no money. I love that one. Guys, first of all, let's get one thing very clear. All right. Most of us use a title which is wealth manager or asset manager or financial planner. Guys, look at the title. Our title is wealth manager. If they don't have wealth, there's nothing to manage, right? I would actually tell them, guys, go work. What do you want me to do? Imagine you go to the doctor prescribes a medicine and you tell the doctor, no money. What is the doctor going to say? What's the doctor going to say? Go figure it out. There's nothing else I can do, right? Our title is wealth manager. No wealth, nothing to manage. Guys, I want you all to first of all get this out of your head, that it's your problem that they don't have money. It is not your problem. It is their problem. It's their problem. Tell them, figure it out. Otherwise, you know what? Keep working. How does it affect me? Guys, please understand something. There are 4 rules that I got from my father when I joined this business, and I'm going to give you the same 4 rules. Rule number 1, don't work. Rule number 2. Okay, now let's first clear rule number 1. Don't work. What does it mean? Financial advice, giving financial advice should be your personality. We all love to give advice. The only advice we don't like to give is financial advice. If you make financial advice a part of your personality, it is not work. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, meet people you like every day. Right? Meet people you like every day. Because what I realized is one of the biggest reasons why people leave this business is they are meeting people they don't like. If you have a client calling you and you're looking at that phone, I'm like, oh, why is this guy calling me? That is a client you don't want. So meet people you like every day. You will not get Monday blues. Rule number 2. Rule number 3, give your best advice to anybody and everybody. It doesn't matter who you meet. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. Give your best advice to anybody and everybody. It helps you build your credibility. It helps you build your branding, and it helps you to do things correct. You don't have to change your words. You are giving consistent advice. So I want you to think about this. Number 3, give your best advice to anybody and everybody. And rule number 4, don't care about the results. And I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I don't understand why I shouldn't care about the results, because the results are a measure of that. And he said, Sanjay, your job is to give good advice. If you give good advice, the sales will come. The sales will come. So don't worry about giving good advice. You just give good advice, the sales will come. And I want all of you all to think about this. Who are you protecting? You are protecting their family. You're protecting their children. You're protecting their business. You're protecting their future. If they don't care, why do you care? Move on. Move on. If they don't care, why do you care? Thank you, Jen. Why do you care? Their children, their future, their family, their business. They don't want to protect it. Why do you care? Move on. Shipra, it's not our business. That's the problem. You think it is our business. It's not our business. It's their business. Yes. If you're meeting one person in a month, you're meeting one person in a week, I understand it becomes your business because you're just not meeting enough people. So, they're rejecting their family, they're rejecting their children, they're rejecting their future, not you. So let's move on that. All right, now coming back to objections. Sanjay, I already have enough insurance. I already have enough insurance. Mr. Client, so 4-step process, I'm going to go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So I'm going to show it to you. Sanjay, I already have enough insurance. Well, Mr. Client, I completely understand that you truly believe that you have enough insurance. But let me ask you a question. Do you know what's the right formula of how much insurance you need? There's a very simple formula. It's 10 times of your annual income. So if your income is $100,000, 10 times would be $1 million. So if you already have $1 million of insurance, then you already have enough. Because what I have realized is every time I've sat down with a client, they all truly believe they have enough insurance. But when we just check with this one simple formula on how much insurance you need, that amount is considerably less. So what I would recommend you is get 10 times of annual income as your insurance. That's a rule of thumb. It's just like, how many glasses of water should you drink a day? 8 to 10 glasses. We already know that. How many steps should you walk every day? 10,000 steps. We already know that. So it's the same for financial planning. You need 10 times of annual income. If you already have that, you don't need more. It's as simple as that. 4 steps. Keep it simple. I am already insured, so we can handle that one, right? All right, let's look at some of the other objections. So I'm just going through the list of objections. Give me the one that's most burning for you, right? I have to ask my spouse. I love this one. I think this is probably one of the most common objections that I get. I need to ask my spouse. I need to ask my wife. It's probably the most common objection. Mr. Client, I'm so glad that you want your wife and your spouse to be a part of this conversation. But let me ask you a question. Do you know that I've never met a single woman in the world that has ever told me that, Sanjay, don't protect the children, don't protect the family, because every time when a spouse or when the wife gets involved, what I have noticed is that they actually will tell you to buy more and it might go out of your budget. So can I give you a recommendation? One of the best things you could do is buy it as a gift, give it to her as a gift and tell her, darling, I truly love you. This is to protect our future. This is to protect our children, and this is to protect you. And I can promise you, she will tell you, why did you buy so little? So you tell her that, you know what, I will do more next year. Because if you do get your wife involved, there's a very high probability that it will go out of your budget. So why don't we just give it to her as a gift? It's one of the simplest ways to handle this objection. All right, let's see, what other objection have we got? All right, Kaushik is given a not an objection but a statement, and I know what the objection is. There are many companies, and the client will say, I don't want to work, I don't know which one to buy. How many of you get this problem that they like to compare products? All right, so let's manage comparison, right? So Sanjay, I'd like to compare the market and I would like to find out what's there in the market, and I like comparisons. So first of all, Mr. Client, I'm so glad that when it comes to matters of life and death, it's always good. It's always good to do a comparison because we're planning for the future. But let me ask you a question. Did you know that today we live in the 21st century, right? Everyone is very competitive. Everyone is already focused on making sure that they have the best product, the best service, the best price. We all are looking at each other. Because what I've realized is when we have done a comparison, and which we have on many elements, the difference between premiums, the difference between benefits is so small, it's not about the product. It always comes down to who do you like to work with? Who is the advisor that you like to work with? So your question should not be comparing products, but comparing advisors. Am I the right advisor for you? If the answer is yes, then we should work together. If the answer is no, then you know what I will do for you? I will do something very special for you. I'll give you free insurance for 3 weeks so that you can spend time to find the right advisor. You see, in our business, our insurance companies are committed to you from the day you truly believe that you want to protect your family, and we call it a free look period. You have the right to buy insurance, you have the opportunity to work with the people you like, and you are protected while you are actually shopping. Because if something did happen to you during this purchase period, I want to make sure you're protected, and that's the least I can do, because I do like you. But if you don't like working with me, don't worry, no pressure. And that's how I would handle that particular objection. Oh, I like this one. Zion has given a very interesting one. My relative, my cousin, is also an insurance advisor, and I would like to buy insurance from, like to buy it from my family. Mr. Client, I'm so glad that you have a cousin who is in this business, or you have an uncle that's in this business. But let me ask you a question. Did you know that when it comes to matters of life and death and something that's so personal, it's very important to learn to keep your insurance separate, your financial planning separate from your family? Think about it. In the medical profession, you could be the best doctor in the world, but if your own child or your own relative is on the operating theater, they don't allow you to operate, they don't allow you to take care of them for a very simple reason. When it comes to very serious conversations, very serious matters like life and death, emotions have to be kept separate from logic. And therefore, it's very important for you to work with someone who is separate from your family. It's always good to work with an advisor that is not related to you, so that you can have that very open and very blunt conversation that you might be feeling scared to have with a relative or with a cousin. And that's how I handle that objection. Now let's look at the other way around. So relatives in the business is what I just handled. But let's say it's the other way around, where they tell you that, Sanjay, I don't like to mix business and I don't like to mix insurance with business. What if we have the exact opposite, right? Where one of your relatives says, I don't want to work with you because you are my brother, you're my sister, you're my uncle, you're my auntie, and I don't want to work with you because we are related. Well, I'm so glad you told me that you don't want to work with me because you don't like to mix business and family. But let me ask you a question. Who's the first person that will find out if something is wrong with you? Me. Who's the first person that will find out if something is going wrong? Me. Who's the first person that will be there with your family when something goes wrong? Me. So who should be a better advisor? The best person you should be working with is me. Because when something does go wrong, I'm the only person who's around. Blood is thicker than water. Guys, I want you all to understand something very important. Insurance is not a product that was created to make money. Insurance was a product that was created to protect what you cannot afford to lose. We cannot afford to lose peace of mind. We cannot afford to lose the future of our children. We cannot afford to lose our future. We cannot afford to lose our lifestyle. We cannot afford to lose our income. Anything that you cannot afford to lose, that's what insurance was created for. If you cannot afford to lose it, you have to insure it. That's the most important fundamental advice that I would give to any person that I meet. Anything you cannot afford to lose, give it to me. That's my job. You see, insurance creates money that doesn't even exist. When I'm talking about it, first of all, we've got financial planning wrong. And I know that this session is about objection handling, but this is something that I have to tell every single one of you. We've got financial planning wrong. Financial planning is not about asset accumulation, asset preservation, asset distribution. I'm very sorry. Financial planning is not about asset accumulation, asset preservation, and asset distribution. It is about income accumulation, income preservation, and income distribution. Hear this very carefully. Financial planning is about income accumulation. We all want more and more income. What is the one stress that you have? What is the one thing that is stopping you from achieving and living the life that you want? Your income. It has nothing to do with assets. It's your income. We want income accumulation. We want more and more income. So we have to find ways to increase our income, not our assets. Number two, income preservation. I don't want to lose the lifestyle that I'm living. Your lifestyle is not based on the assets you have. Your lifestyle is based on the income that you generate. So we need to preserve income. There is only one product in the world that protects future income, and that is life insurance. That is income protection insurance. There is only one product that protects future income, and that is insurance. There is no alternative to insurance. And think about it. What do we truly want to leave for our children? Do we want to leave a lump sum for them, or do we want to leave an income stream for them? Why did the older generation buy a lot of properties? So that the children can live on the rental income. It wasn't about the value of the assets. It was always about the income that was generated. So what we truly want to distribute is income, not assets. So we've got the world of financial planning wrong. It's not asset accumulation. It's not asset preservation. It's not asset distribution. It's income accumulation, income preservation, and income distribution. And guys, I want you all to understand this, that insurance was not designed for any other reason but to protect what you cannot afford to lose. Mamta has said a very interesting thing. Sanjay, the interest rate, the IRR, the internal rate of return is lower than other instruments. Guys, I want you all to understand this. Do you keep money in current accounts? What is the interest rate in the current account? 0. Why do you still keep money in the current account? Liquidity. Why do you keep money in a savings account? You get interest. But is the savings account return higher than fixed deposit? No. The fixed deposit has a higher rate of return. So why do you keep money in the savings account? Liquidity. Why do you put money in a fixed deposit? Because it gives me a higher interest rate. But my capital is guaranteed. All right. Then what gives more higher returns long term? Mutual funds or interest rates or fixed deposits? We know mutual funds or equities will always outperform in the long term. So then why do we keep money in fixed deposits and not put all our money into equities? Because the risk of losing capital is a bigger fear than the rate of return. Then why don't we just buy properties? Well, the problem is property is a fixed asset. When you need money, you cannot sell it. And when you don't need money, you've got buyers standing at your door. Think about it. Every time you go to buy a property, right, they tell you none available. And whenever you go to sell a property, they tell you none available. There's no buyer. So whenever you're buying property or selling property, there is none available. And for a very simple reason, property is a personal choice. It's something that we like personally or don't like personally. The property that you like might not be the property that someone else likes. And therefore, it's an asset that can be very, very fixed to a point where when you need the money, you can't sell it. Because think about it. When will you sell a property? When you are in trouble. When will you be in trouble? When the economy is in trouble. When the economy is in trouble, there are no buyers. When do you not sell property? When you don't need money. When do you not need money? When the economy is doing very well. So if the economy is doing well, your job is doing well, you don't need to sell your properties. Even if there is a buyer, you're not willing to sell. And that's the other problem. That we realize that property is an asset that doesn't appreciate. Property is an asset that doesn't depreciate. Property is an asset that always holds value. And that's one of the reasons why people buy properties. They hold value. They automatically adjust for inflation. That's pretty much what property does. But that is the same thing that we can achieve by using life insurance. Think about it. We always say this in the world of life insurance, give us pennies for dollars. We will always take pennies and give back dollars in terms of the rate, the way we actually calculate. The other day I had a client who said, Sanjay, the rate of return in insurance is very low. I'm sure that a lot of you have heard this, that Sanjay, the rate of return in insurance is very low. So let me ask all of you this question. When is the best time to buy insurance? When is the best time to buy insurance? The best time to buy insurance is one day before you die. Buy today, die tomorrow. Maximum return. There is no product, there is no instrument in the world that can give you a better return. Buy today, die tomorrow. That's the best return that you can get. Think about it. It's one day before you die. Now the problem is, how many of you know when is the day that you will die? That's the problem. We actually don't know which day we will die. That day could be today. So the best time to buy insurance was actually yesterday. Unfortunately, we cannot turn back time. So your only alternative to yesterday is today. Guys, I want you all to understand this. That the best time to buy insurance is one day before you die. And that day could have been yesterday. But we can't push back time. So the best time left for you is today. It's not my life, not my children, not my family, not my business. They're yours, your decision. And I want you all to understand this. If a client doesn't feel the urgency to buy insurance, let me ask all of you this question. If your client doesn't feel the urgency to buy insurance, there are two things that could have gone wrong. Number one, your presentation wasn't good enough. Number two, you're trying to push a product that they don't like. Those are the only two variables that would cause people to not feel urgent. And I want you all to think about this. If a client doesn't buy insurance today, they buy after 1 year, all right? What will happen? If they don't buy insurance today, they buy after 1 year, what will happen? The premium will increase, am I correct? So if the premium increases, your commission will increase. So let me ask you this question. Why are you in a hurry? Why are you in a hurry? If your client doesn't buy insurance today, they buy after 1 year. The premium will increase, your commission will increase. So why are you in a hurry? I'll tell you the reason why you are in a hurry. Because you only have one client. That's the problem. If this one client doesn't buy insurance this month, no commission. And that's the problem. So the problem is not the client. The problem is you. I actually tell my clients, take your time. Take 5 years, even better. Because the longer you take, the more money I make. Think about it. The longer time you take, the more money I make. I'm in no hurry. Take your time. Guys, please understand something. That our business is a people business. Your job is to meet people. The problem is you just don't meet enough people. And you get affected. You get affected by what they say rather than you focusing on giving your best advice. If they take it, congratulations. If they don't take it, move on. So what? And if you truly want to become a specialist with objection handling, then keep these 4 rules in mind. Rule number 1. 4 important rules. Rule number 1. An objection is not towards you. The objection is towards your product. Do not take it personally. Number 2, right? Rule number 2. An objection is not a rejection. It is a question that they want clarity for. Don't take it personally. Give them the correct answer. Rule number 3. An objection is a process. Objection handling is a process. It is not a question and answer. It is a process. Acknowledge it. Ask the right question, give a solution and example, and make it relatable to them. So that's rule number 3. Objection handling is not a Q&A. Objection handling is a process. And number 4, please don't forget to ask for the signature. The only way to know if your objection handling process was correct is to ask for the signature. When you ask for the signature, if they are not willing to sign, that means they still have an objection that you need to clarify. They still have a problem that is bothering them and you need to clarify and you need to help them get over that problem. Because if you do that with every single client, I can guarantee that your productivity will increase. Every single one of you needs to understand that for your productivity to increase, you need to be having a process, a system. And that's exactly why I'm doing this free session, because I truly believe that every single one of you has the opportunity to become bigger, to become better, and to be able to meet people more frequently than you actually do. Please stop spending time in the office and start spending time with people that matter to you. Go out, meet your friends, meet your clients, meet people, because the more people you meet, the better you will become in this business. And I want every single one of you to remember that insurance has no alternative. There is no alternative. There is no product that does what insurance does. It creates money that doesn't even exist. So guys, keep this in mind. Stay focused. Stay planned. Because every single one of you has the opportunity to become whoever you want to be this year. I will try and keep this video in this group for the next 24 hours so that you have access to it and you can watch it again. But do spend some time. Download the PDF. Because when you download the PDF, you will get access to everything that I just said. I've written most of it down for you. There are some things that I haven't, so watch the video again. If you truly believe there are financial advisors out there, friends of yours, colleagues of yours, that you want to help become better in this business, do share this with them, because I truly believe that we as financial professionals make one very big mistake. We don't share it with our colleagues. Guys, we are the advocates. We are the ambassadors of this profession. And every single one of us is going to affect the reputation of this profession. So please make sure that as financial advisors, you talk to other financial advisors and help them get to the next level. Teach them something new. Share something with them. Give them your best. Don't hold back. If there is something that you're willing, if there is a question that's bothering you, ask me. I will try to answer it as soon as possible. I want all of you all to understand that I don't teach as a profession. I love sharing my ideas. I love sharing my strategies for a very simple reason. I wish somebody told this to me 23 years ago. It took me a long time to build what I have. I've started when I was 17 years old. I got into this business. It took me a long time to build the business that I have today. Every single one of you has the same opportunity. The only question is, are you willing to spend that time? Are you willing to grow in this business? If there is one takeaway that you take away from today's session, I want you to take away this very simple thing. You are there to be with your clients for a very long time. Choose your clients carefully. Work with people that truly make you happy. Work with people that you truly care about. Work with people that matter to you. And I can promise you, you will become successful in this business. Build the right system. Build the right system, because if you don't build the right system, you're not going in the right direction. Our competition is very low. There are not many good financial advisors in the business, and that's exactly what makes us successful, is if you can stand out with the right conversation, with the right way to handle objections, without having to push to get your closing, you will become successful in this business. And if you are willing to learn, I am willing to teach. This is not my business. I love teaching because I truly believe that's my way of giving back to our profession. This is a generational business for my family. And therefore, as a part of this industry, as a part of this profession, for such a long time as a family, it is my responsibility that I give back to this profession. So I will continue to give. I will continue to share. But every single one of you have to take this on yourself, that if you are willing to learn, I am willing to teach. But the question is, are you willing to learn? Are you willing to make that change? Are you willing to learn those new concepts, those new objections that will help you get to the next level? Because every single one of us has that opportunity. And I want you all to understand something very important. We live in a world where it's not about competition, it's about collaboration. It's about working with the right professionals. It's about accepting that you cannot be an expert in everything. And there are different experts for different things. So please remember this, that it's not about competition, it's about collaboration. It's about working with the right experts. It's about building the structure that allows you to collaborate with other professionals. I collaborate with a lot of bankers. I collaborate with a lot of accountants. I collaborate with a lot of business owners. I collaborate with a lot of associations. I collaborate to be able to grow my practice. It's not about competition. It's about collaboration. So guys, if you believe that you have an opportunity to collaborate with the right professional, you have the opportunity to collaborate with other fellow colleague, don't get scared of collaborating, because you might not be an expert, just like how doctors collaborate, right? So if you go to a particular neurologist or a cardiologist, they might bring in other medical professionals, other doctors, to collaborate on and to help provide the client with the right expertise. So don't get scared of collaboration, because it's not about just insurance. It's about all the different assets that they might have. And when you structure the assets correctly, right? When you structure the way they hold their assets, the way they actually structure their assets from a legacy perspective or from a consumption perspective, because some assets they will consume today, some assets they want to create for legacy. So the way you structure their assets will affect their financial requirements, because it is not just about insurance. It's not just about money. It's about the assets that they've been drilled with, and they've been building and they've been building and they've been building, because it's about structuring the assets correctly. Guys, if you want to learn, I'm willing to teach, but you have to take that step of wanting to learn. There is a very important saying in the Indian culture. I do come from India. There's a lot of great philosophies that are there in India. And there's one philosophy that I've learned and I've heard every time that I was a child from my grandfather. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So if you are willing to learn, I am willing to teach. But that's a decision that you have to make. So best of luck. Let's make 2024 our best year ever. And if you do have questions, do send them across. I'd love to answer them as much as I can. If I'm unable to answer the questions, please remember that I am also a financial professional, just like each one of you, and I do have a business to run. This is something that I love to do as my passion, because I do love to teach. Thank you very much for taking the time to spend time with me. And guys, best of luck. Keep going. 2024 is an exciting year. Remember one thing, objection handling is one portion of the sales system. So if you build the right system, objection handling becomes a lot more easier. If you don't build the right system, well, objection handling does become difficult. It is a process, it is a system, and you can actually learn it if you're willing to learn. I'm willing to teach. God bless. Stay safe. Ramadan Kareem to everyone that's celebrating Ramadan. And guys, thank you very much for all the countries that have joined in. We've got almost 1,000 people into this session, and it's an absolute pleasure to spend this time with you. God bless. Stay safe.